The Writings of Philosopher Prince Israel Zaar. Title: Is the Constitution Dead or Alive? I now read, Patriot Americans can only accept what is American, not dictatorship, not tyranny, not state intimidation, not authoritarian coercion, not unconstitutionality, not lawlessness, not abuse of power, not abuse of the law, not excessive use of force, not uncontrollable agitator force, UAF, not property destructive rioters, PDR, and not a special deadly force type in American streets in the false pretext of legal necessity to be there in the streets to maintain law and order. How can you be the law and abuse the law? How can you be for law and order and be the escalation force or the fountain of disorder? How can you be in violation of that which you are called upon to guard against? How can you be violating the laws you are using as an excuse to violate the constitutional amendment's rights, CAR, of others? How can you be disregarding the same powers and authority given to thee by claiming that same power and authority as cover for the abuse of that same power and authority that you are disregarding and claiming at the same time? How can you protect the people and preserve the peace and be the one that is inciting violence and using unwarranted deadly force? Who are you serving, the American people or someone else? Isn't your allegiance to the American people, to the Constitution, to the flag, to the law, to our system of government, to the American judicial process? Or is thy allegiance to someone else or something else? Use not Americans against Americans for unpatriotic, unconstitutional, or un-American ends. Where does thy loyalty lie? What is thy objective, thy purpose, thy mission, thy duty, thy responsibilities, thy expectation, thy obligations, thy limitations or accountability? Is it for America and the American people? Why art thou in the streets? For whom art thou in the street? By whose authority art thou in the street? For what good art thou in the street? To what end shall thou use violence and death to justify killing fellow Americans performing their civic American rights? Isn't the right to nonviolent protest against injustice, mistreatments, unlawfulness, and un-Americanness sacred, as per the constitutionality of the law? Isn't thy duty to serve the American people, to be trained to practice restraint, professionalism, and tactical de-escalation? Aren't thee there for the people, not against the people? Aren't thee there, Patriot One, as a shield to fellow and vulnerable Americans, than be a sword or the cause of their deaths? Isn't it true, Patriot One in uniform, POU, that thy life too can be at risk, in danger, and fear of the unknown, especially from those violence agitators of malicious disposition, VGMD, who are there deliberately to hurt those trying to protect the law and preserve the peace? Aren't thee, Great One in uniform of arms, the respected citizen of honor, RCH, for thy badge and uniform should be seen as authority of safety and reasonable use of force, RUF. Hold thee thy anger, dear one, from disrespectful citizens by using your compulsion, discipline, and training, dear one. Be there for the American people, not against them, dear one, for the people trust in thee. Thou art the image of peace, the projection of stability and order. Abuse not that sacred American code to the Constitution, CACC. Aren't wearing a badge of patriot bravery and courage, PBC, for something of courageous bravery and calculative commensurate consciousness, CCC, as calibrated and measured force, CMF. That the fear for your life can only be that which a brave patriot cannot endure, and which a reasonable mind can only justify as force against reckless endangerment. Aren't thy lives of patriot ones in uniform entrusted to the people, just as the people's lives are entrusted in thy judicious care and in thy conscious awareness of reciprocal common humanity sound judgment, CHSG. Great One in uniform, aren't your job from the people, not against the people? Aren't your badge from the people, not from a particular person to be used against the people? What has gotten to thee, dear Great One in uniform, that you're hating, hurting, and abusing the same Americans thou art licensed to protect? Are thou licensed to kill Americans or licensed to protect Americans and preserve the peace? Aren't thee, dear Great One in uniform, to protect the Constitution and the positive American way of life? PAWL? This is philosophical, not empirical. The Wisdom of Zaarrianism, philosopher Prince Israel Zaar, January 26, 2026. The background video is Trianglerism, Immersive, Inventive Art. Hope you enjoy listening. Leave a comment and subscribe.